to, in a 21-day cycle on average with the places that you've been and talked to, what percent is like liquid, solid, and gas? Although it varies.
It varies significantly. So for about 100 tons of food waste that goes in, you get, I need my slide almost. You get about 28 tons of solid compost.
28?
20, yeah.
20?
28.
28.
Yeah, but again, varies, you know, give or take about 20%. I mean, there's a pretty wide swath there. And I've got all the data back here. I can give you the slide on it. But, you know, you measure your gas in MMBTUs. The gas that comes out is both methane and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide gets scrubbed out, put to the side. We use it for gardening. The methane is scrubbed, put into the pipeline. I think we get about 269 MMBTUs, but I'll get you the slide.
And your liquid, how much is it?
Sorry?
Your liquid, how much?
The liquid is significant. It's about 2,100 gallons. It is, yeah, it's very significant. It's also the easiest land applicable fertilizer, so we just sell it by the tote. Yeah, very easy. Yeah, I'm going to go to just new hands real quick in the back, sir. Yes.
I know that 18 months you can put anything in and build it. What is it going to take to get the government regulations at the federal, state, and local through the system? I know mining up.
An act of God.
I spent 20 years to do that.
It's, you know what, if we're going to wait for them to do the right thing, we're all going to, like, sit here and suffer with something that doesn't work.
So we're ignoring governmental agencies?
No, we try to work with them constantly. I'm in constant conversation with the EPA. I'm in constant conversation with TDEC. But I'm not going to wait for them to do the right thing. I want the right, I mean, I'm a private citizen doing this for no cost for my community because I think it's the right thing to do.
So you're ready to operate and go as soon as the money comes in?
Yeah, I mean, this is something we need. We know it works. I've seen it work so well other places. Why not just get it up and going? And when you go to schools and you work with children and you see that to them it's so logical and they look at us like we're dumb adults, like why aren't we doing this already? Like, you're right, I get it, you're correct, because we know better and there is a better way, so we're just going to do it. I'm not going to wait for the government to catch up with us. Sorry. In the back, yes, gentleman on the left.
I understand the process. Did I hear you correctly say it's a restaurant, that you have an 80-ish gallon tote?
Yes.
That you pay $100 a week for?
A month.
$100 a month. So that would, you thought a quarter of that would be what a residential?
$25 a week is what we pay for that being picked up. I think because there's a lot of work in all the pickups, all the stops, the larger producers get a little bit of a cut rate. But that's what they charge right now. It's actually, given the density and the weight of that waste, it's not uncomparable with my trash pickup and the recyclables.
So roughly, if I would be spending $25 a month for that.
Yeah, it very well could be. Yeah.
And this same stuff, I'm putting down my garbage disposal now.
And you can. You can put some of it down your garbage disposal. But when you do that, it needs to go to a wastewater treatment plant. And what happens at the wastewater treatment plant? Do they have a method to treat that such that it doesn't eventually have to go to landfill? And if they do, then it's not such a bad option. There's just not a lot of things that, not everything can go down there.
Or they have an accident and 440,000 gallons goes on the farm. That's exactly.
Yeah, and it's what happens. So in environmental studies, and the Department of Ag and EPA will even tell us the highest and best use of organics waste is to put it through a digester, because you get 100% of the outputs that are usable. Putting down the garbage disposal, you can do. It works. Is it the highest and best use of that waste product? No.
I'm thinking at the end of the day, what's my wallet going to look like? You know, when I can put it down the garbage disposal where I'm paying $25 a month for it.
Yeah.
On top of my current trash charge.
Right. So I think the other thing that as a community you look at is what is most important for where that output goes.
And
So-
I don't mean to cut you
No,
short.
you're good, you're good, you might
But
need
that's what this organization is trying to figure out. This is one solution for part of our waste stream. So how do we really deal this with the cost, what's generated? We're all gonna pay for it one way or another. We're paying for it now, but where's that cost gonna be? And when we're through with this, hopefully within the next 90 days, we'll have a finite plan. But having those costs right now, no, we're paying, but we don't know where that $10 is going. We're already paying for it. So here's a solution. How much of that is captured resource? How much is everything else? So we need to keep going. We've got a couple more presentations here. And if you've got questions, please write them down and we'll respond to them.
Should we take this gentleman who's been waiting for them?
I'm just kind of piggybacking on him with the price that it's $300 a year for literally a 5-gallon bucket of your food waste for your house. You know, people are going to try other options such as like recycling service and so on and so forth. That you know we're stopping at each household 5 gallons of waste, which at the end of the day, I mean, every little bit helps for sure, but trying to get the community on board and trying to get them involved in something at that price seems kind of steep, to be honest with you.
So, yeah, definitely. So most communities, what they've done is most communities have offset it with other costs so that it's being part of your pickup. But honestly, the one thing that we do with residents more than anything, and this is part of our education, because we go and educate in restaurants, we go and educate at schools, is if you have a home and a residence, let's do backyard composting, or let's aggregate that and get 1 5-gallon bucket on the block. Let's not overdo what doesn't need to be overdone. And what goes in that, you know, I don't put in my food waste, I don't put all my leaves and stuff in there. I just put the stuff that I know is gonna be really toxic when I put it in the landfill. You're gonna put it in the landfill bin, like the dairy, the meat, the eggshells, like the stuff that really, really breaks down is bad. Yeah, the takeout that went spoiled, you know. So typically what has happened in, like, so I'll say Brooklyn in New York, for example, they actually have 25-gallon bins, and the neighborhood shares it and they'll throw it in. And it costs $100 a month for like 15 people.
We're still sending 96 gallons of waste to our landfill in our wheel-out dumpsters. We're saving 5 gallons of waste.
Well, that 5 gallons though is,
$300 a year.
yeah, but it doesn't quite equate, when you think of what that waste does in the landfill versus what the other waste does in the landfill, it is, okay. Well, I think the question is, do you want to be sending your organics waste to the landfill?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and what are options in order to take care of that in a clean and sealed environment such that the community isn't experiencing smells and public health issues like rats and flies and stuff. So yeah, the digester can be addressed and that's the going cost in Nashville right now. That could be significantly reduced here. Plus, you're going to be paying 50% of what other people are paying. So it wouldn't be 25. And that's up for a month. So it's not 5 gallons, it would be 20 gallons for $25. And then it would be half of that, so let's say $12.50. So $150 a year. Which is pretty, I mean, for what the cost is, just to labor-wise, to transport that is actually pretty inexpensive.
There's ways to get around single pickup, but if that resident separated that and put it in another plastic bag, so when you've got this whole, if you're doing your recycling and your garbage, Tennessee Rehabilitation is going to sort that. Here's this bag full of organic material. Sort it out. It's at the recycling center already. It's another bag. It's got to be bagged up, but it's in that whole bag of stuff that's being picked up, whether it's the trash bin or whatever. It's doable without adding extra cost to that. We've got to separate it anyway. Why not have it? And I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Those solutions, I believe, are available. We as a community can